it's just like beating a dead horse, and Carl's the dead horse. I don't want to do that. And, like, if people really want to see videos of me talking about Carl and my thoughts on the future of the show with him not there and everything, I can do that. It'll take a little more time to do, obviously, but if people really want to see me make videos about that, even though there are a lot of videos out there already about that, then I can try and do that. Until you find your way back home. Right, there you have it. That was Season 8, Episode 10 of The Walking Dead, The Lost and the Plunderers. Alright, so where to begin about tonight's episode? First off, I want to say that the way that they organized this episode and how they did it by character was very interesting. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it yet, but I'm curious to see if they're going to continue doing this throughout the rest of the series, or season at least. It'll be interesting. But, I'm glad this episode didn't leave me in tears again. That was no fun. But I guess, so we can talk about I guess we could talk about them in the closest order that I can think of. So, shown for the first one, we saw the way that she kind of was additionally reacting to Carl's death, and how she had a little bit of, pent-up anger, which it's going to happen. And she wanted to save some of the places that Carl used to be and, hang out. So I guess that'll probably be her wanting to keep places or pieces of him alive. In addition to that, we had Rick and her then leaving the Alexandria safe zone. And even though they may return in the comics, we don't know. Maybe they won't ever go back there. But I'm pretty sure they will, but you never know. The show, I cannot trust the show to abide by the comics anymore. So, yeah. We also had Negan dealing with Simon and trying to keep Simon in line, as well as getting that box from the hilltop with, I think his name was Dean. How for those of you Supernatural fans, you know why that's funny. Yeah, so that was one of Simon's men, apparently. So everyone that the Hilltop has prisoner now are Simon's people, or like his group. So that makes him much more erratic. And I'm interested to see where he's going to go as a character and his relationship with Negan. Yeah, so I don't want to forget about it, so I'll touch on it now. I've seen some interesting parallels coming up lately between the way that Negan and Simon act and the way that Rick and Daryl act, in that Simon and Daryl have both gone rogue from what they were told to do. So Rick and Negan's right-hand men are not really doing what they're told. And I think it would be interesting if both of them ended up dead by the end of All Out War as a result of them going rogue, and Rick and Negan both lost their, I guess their closest friend or ally, or one of their closest friends and allies, and then realize that they have to stop and work together. And I know there are a lot of people that feel very passionately about the fact that they want Negan dead. And as much as I love and loved Glenn, Abe, Carl, all of them. Well, Carl, it doesn't really matter as much because he wasn't killed by Negan. But Glenn and Abe, I feel like if they were not killed, it would not have driven Maggie and Sasha and the other characters that were in the lineup in the direction that they've gone since then. And so the Hilltop would have still been run by Gregory. And it would have, I don't think Maggie would have risen to the leader role that she has without losing Glenn. And maybe she would have, but I mean, we'll never really know. But I think it'd be really interesting if Negan is kept around, and I know that is a hot topic. That is, some people are very for it, some people are very against it. Um, I feel like the show is a lot more interesting with him in it, and without him, it would just make it a lot less interesting. And I mean, I would still watch it obviously, and it would still be interesting, but the fact that he's in there makes it a lot more interesting. And they would have to bring in another villain, so to speak, to be the opposition, because just sitting there not really having any opposition or anything bad or waiting to hurt them is going to make the show not really that interesting to the majority of fans that complain about the show being boring and not having action and all that shit. But okay, yeah, I don't want to make this super super long, but okay, what else? So we had Rick dealing with Carl's death. He kind of put it off first, and he started sort of trying to deal with it towards the end of the episode. And I'll get into the conversation he and Rick had in a minute, but yeah, so as far as Oceanside goes, we had Enid and Aaron there, and I'm happy that they were let go, but I'm not sure how I feel about Aaron staying back there. I mean, I know that they need to ally themselves with them, but I feel like it's going to be really hard to do, at least right now. But yeah, I'm interested to see if they will work with them, and if they do, how long they'll last. But trying to think of what else. Okay. Oh, another thing I wanted to touch on was Rick leaving Jadis. I know that the whole double crossing thing, or more so triple crossing, isn't cool. Like, come on, it's a douche move. But I think that the fact that Rick left her shows that he's not really open to what Carl was saying, and he was questioning Michonne about that. Like, what do you think he meant? And it's interesting to see him almost just completely ignoring what Carl was saying. Most of us would assume that he was going to honor what Carl's wishes were, but it's seeming like he's, at least right now, that he's not going to. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where Jadis's character is going to go, and I thought it was very interesting that Simon pointed out the helipad and all the other stuff. I'm thinking that the helipad might have been, or the helicopter back in the premiere episode, I want to say, was from the Heapsters. That'd be really interesting. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was she reverted back to her speech, which was cool to see, but I'm interested to see where she's going to go. And I know I've kind of already said that, but so let me think. Oh, the end of the episode where Rick goes and looks at the letter that Carl had for Negan. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me mad that Rick didn't respect Carl's wishes to give the letters to the people he wrote them for, and just decided to read it himself. Like, he should have read his own letter, and, like, if the other people Carl wrote letters for, like Matt, or I'm hoping he wrote one to Maggie, but, Enid, Michonne, all, if they wanted to share those letters with Rick, then cool. But I feel like the fact that Carl wrote those on his pretty much on his deathbed, those were very personal to him, and he wanted them to go to those specific people for a reason. And the fact that Rick just completely is disregarding everything that Carl was saying on it, like as his last wishes and all that, it's not sitting right with me. And especially when he starts like talking shit to Negan, when Negan's trying to like sympathize with him, because even though Rick couldn't see Negan's face, Negan was really affected by hearing that Carl died, and his first question was asking how it happened, because if it was one of his men that did it or something like that, that would have completely changed his view on everything going on. And the fact that it was just when like Rick was distracted and out, and I know that Carl grew up a bit, whatever, but Rick was always there to kind of make sure that Carl wasn't like doing stupid things, like stay in the house, Carl, do this, Carl. And I'd like to think that Carl, as he was getting older and growing up, that he would be able to go and do those kind of things by himself. And I'm not saying that he's not capable. It was just a stupid accident, whatever. And I know right now I'm completely disregarding all of the outside factors that could have played into Carl being killed off on the show. I don't even want to get into that, because I could make hour-long videos talking about all this shit with Carl. And I feel like it's just like beating a dead horse, and Carl's the dead horse. I don't want to do that. And, like, if people really want to see videos of me talking about Carl and my thoughts on the future of the show with him not there and everything, I can do that. It'll take a little more time to do, obviously, but if people really want to see me make videos about that, even though there are a lot of videos out there already about that, then I can try and do that. But the fact that Rick was just completely disregarding any sort of compassion or sympathy that Negan was showing him about losing his son is just kind of douchey. Like, he's trying to tell you he's sorry about losing your kid, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you anyway. Like, can you not be Dick Rick for about 5 minutes? Just have a civil conversation with Negan about Carl? But I don't know. But then I think I was kind of expecting that reaction from Negan in kind of blaming Rick for it, because Negan was very fond of Carl. And I'm not 100% sure what TV Negan's backstory is. I know that we've gotten a little taste of it in the Big Scary You in the last half, but I'd be interested to find out if Negan had a kid in the show. But the fact that he was basically giving Rick shit for Carl dying, I thought was very interesting. And although it wasn't really necessary and he didn't need to do it, I'm not going to say that Rick needed to hear it, because I don't know if he did, but there are definitely some things that Negan was saying that Rick needed to hear, and likewise with Rick to Negan, like, I feel like it'll be very hard for them to move forward, but I don't think it is completely impossible. I think it is definitely possible for them to move forward. And going back to something Negan was talking to Simon about, saving people and keeping people alive and like building up a community and civilization again, that is definitely the hard route compared to just killing people, which is the easy and coward's way out of it. So I think it would take a lot of willpower to do it, but I definitely think it's possible. I think, was there anything else? I guess I'll touch a little bit on the preview. I'm really interested to see why Tara is flipping out at Dwight again. Like, I really like Tara and Dwight, but I'm getting I'm just getting real tired of her, given I know he killed Denise, but like, you didn't even really know her for that long. So you two weren't really that close, and yes, it was someone in your group, but still, like, get over it and move forward. Dwight's trying to help you guys out. You all probably would have been dead if Dwight wasn't on your side. I don't know. There's a lot. This show, I just, half the time I don't even argue with people that talk shit about the show. Like, I'm learning that it's a lost cause, because people are so set in their ways, in their beliefs, that no matter how many facts you present them with about how multidimensional a show like this is, they're never going to change their minds. So we just have to let them sit and believe the things that they do, even though they're wrong. And even though, well, some are wrong, some are opinions, but sometimes I like to think the two can be related. Not all the time though, but yeah, I guess this is going on. This little like review thing is going on a lot longer than I thought, but I'm very interested to see next week's episode, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Enid's reaction to finding out about Carl, as well as Maggie and Carol. Even though they didn't show us Maggie and Carol's reactions, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get them, because it looked like she was at the hilltop, and Daryl and Tara and all them are gonna be arriving at the hilltop. I'm afraid that they're gonna make it take the entire episode for them to get there, though, which would really suck. But I mean, they don't want to speed the war up too fast, so they're probably going to end up taking the majority of the episode for them to get there, as well as flashing back and forth between the other groups. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about the episode down below. Oh, I totally forgot. The trash compactor. Oh my god. That was awesome. Whether it was special effects, whatever it was, awesome. Yeah, that definitely, Walker Kill of the Week goes to Jadis, for sure. Or Walkers. Or Walker Kills. Yeah. Walker Kills of the Week go to Jadis. It might even be this whole season, too. Like, those are some of the... That might be one of the top kills of the series, to be honest. But it was awesome. But yeah, so let me know what you guys thought about the episode down below. If you want to subscribe and you haven't already, go ahead and do that. Leave a like, all that fun stuff. And I haven't really promoted this a ton, really at all, because I'm not really sure the best way to do it because of college at the moment. I don't have a ton of time, and I know that when you have a lot more time, it is easier to do the whole Patreon type thing. So maybe in the future I can implement a more in-depth tier system with different kinds of rewards and stuff for all that. But with all of the changes going on in YouTube lately, I think I'm technically still a partner, but since I don't have 1,000 subs or the however many hours of watch time, I can't. My videos aren't suggested to people, and I mean I'm trying to get my videos out there, build a community of people, because there's not a lot of people at my school that watch The Walking Dead. So I enjoy talking about it with people, and this is kind of my way to do that. So, but yeah, I'm trying to save up and get some better equipment to help. And I know I'm pretty well off right now with the equipment that I have. I just got a new webcam. I have this mic that I've been using for pretty much this whole season so far. It's a lot nicer, pop filter and all that stuff. I also got a green screen type setup. I'm not using that right now because of the size of my dorm room. It doesn't really fit very well, but it would help out to be able to do a lot more stuff and buy more things to aid in my production, so I could buy some external drives so I can start saving more of my edit type stuff and footage for the shows. But yeah, obviously, and I'm not begging or whatever, but if you want to go over, check out Patreon, you can. I don't have a ton of reward tiers or anything like that right now. Right now, I think it's more so just the bare minimum to just, if you're feeling being generous, supporting the channel, helping out, that's awesome. If not, totally understand. And as of right now, I'm not gonna do any oh, you can't access this without being part of that. So I mean, I may do that in the future if I gain more of a following. But right now, it's just if you want to support or help out the channel, you can check out Patreon. If not, again, totally understand. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and I will see you guys maybe later this week if I end up putting up some more videos. This is my last week before spring break, and I have a lot going on this week. Like, I have like 2 or 3 exams, a couple papers, so I don't know how much I'll be able to get out this week, but I'm going to try my best to get out a reaction over spring break. It's going to be kind of tough because I don't know if I'll be able to take home my setup. But, if I can, awesome. If not, I'll try and make do. But if I don't get a reaction out for the episode next Sunday, I am truly sorry. I've tried to do this ending like 7 times now. But yeah, so I guess. Oh no! Don't show me fear stuff. I'm not caught up yet. Hey, go away. Okay. But yeah, this has been Jack from Group of Gamers Inc. 194, and I'm out. Peace.
No! Oh my god. Oh, there's so much going on.
Oh! Damn. Alright. He went there.
Oh my god. Why is Morgan fighting Jesus?
Simon!
So much is going
Oh,
on.
here goes Tamiel and Brian. Oh. Jadis. Oh, she uses contractions. Well, you're looking for more paint, Jadis.
Robert Kirkman, don't play me like that.
Oh.